Jey Uso and the Og bloodline have finally reunited to take on Solo Sikoa's faction, with Sami Zayn also now aligning with the original bloodline. The Yeet Master and the original tribal chief exchanged heated words during the opening moments of the latest SmackDown episode. However, things ended with a nostalgic reunion, marking Sami's return to the ongoing saga. At WWE Survivor Series War Games, a double ring bout, popularly known as a War Games match, between the Og bloodline and the New Bloodline, is expected to headline the event. In this article, we'll discuss 3 signs that Jey Uso might walk out on Roman Reigns at the upcoming Premium Live event. A major element with serious implications for the Og bloodline is that Roman Reigns has yet to apologize to the Yeet Master. On this week's SmackDown, when Sami Zayn showed up for a family discussion, his one request to the original tribal chief was for Reigns to apologize to Jey Uso. However, instead of apologizing, Reigns mocked the Samoan twin, claiming he was wasting time with the honorary Uso on Raw. Even when Jey laid down the conditions for the Og bloodline's reunion, Roman still didn't offer an apology. This refusal to apologize raises the likelihood that the former Intercontinental Champion could walk out on Roman Reigns at Survivor Series War Games, as he could feel that he wasn't respected and things hadn't changed. When Roman Reigns refused to agree to Sami Zayn's terms, the Og bloodline retreated backstage after the opening moments of the Friday night show. During their backstage conversation, the OTC attempted to talk down to the Raw star, once again trying to assert his superiority. This behavior evidently didn't sit well with the Yeet Master, leading him to walk out again, citing Reigns' poor treatment of Jey. This attempt to belittle Jey could be yet another indication that the 39-year-old star might walk out on Reigns at Survivor Series War Games if similar behavior recurs during the event. With the progression of the storyline, one thing has become clear. Roman Reigns is primarily focused on reclaiming the Ulafala. The original tribal chief has made multiple attempts to get the Ulafala back around his neck, but has failed each time. This suggests that one of the key reasons for the Og bloodline's reunion is Reigns' apparent greed for power, symbolized by the Ulafala. His obsession with authority seems to outweigh his concern for family, potentially leading to his moral corruption once again. As WWE Survivor Series War Games approaches, tensions within the bloodline are hitting new heights. While Roman Reigns has dominated the wrestling world as the tribal chief, cracks in his once unbreakable family faction are becoming impossible to ignore. Jey Uso, one of Roman's longest-standing supporters and a key figure in the bloodline, has shown signs of strain and discontent. Many fans speculate that Jey could be reaching his breaking point, potentially walking out on Reigns in a dramatic twist at War Games. Here are 3 key indications that Jey Uso might finally turn his back on the tribal chief at this explosive event. From the very beginning of the bloodline story, Roman Reigns' leadership has been more about control than unity. He's demanded loyalty, obedience, and unflinching devotion from his family, often using manipulation to keep his cousins, especially Jey, in line. Over time, Jey has faced verbal and emotional abuse, often bearing the brunt of Roman's anger when things go wrong. Reigns expects Jey to sacrifice himself for the family's success, and in doing so, has often relegated him to a second-in-command role while placing himself on a pedestal. Fans have watched as Jey's frustration has grown over the past months, and it's become increasingly clear that he's fed up with being treated as a mere pawn in Roman's game. Jey's facial expressions, his reluctance to execute Roman's orders, and even his hesitation to celebrate Reigns' victories all point to a man on the verge of breaking free. During recent segments, Jey has often looked away or gritted his teeth whenever Roman demands loyalty or obedience, suggesting he's finally beginning to resent Roman's constant need for dominance. War Games could provide Jey the opportunity to stand up for himself in a way he hasn't before. In the chaos of the match, he could refuse to follow Roman's instructions, or even outright ignore his commands, making a powerful statement that he's no longer willing to submit to Roman's control. With Roman constantly belittling and questioning Jey's loyalty, it seems only a matter of time before Jey takes a stand, potentially in the most dramatic way possible, by walking out on the bloodline when Roman needs him most. Another indication that Jey might be close to abandoning Roman Reigns at War Games is the complex and often tense relationship he shares with his younger brother, Solo Sikoa. Since joining the bloodline, Solo has been an enforcer for Roman, often stepping in to carry out his brutal will without question. While Jey initially welcomed Solo's presence, hoping for familial support in an increasingly hostile environment, Solo's unwavering loyalty to Roman has created friction between the brothers. Solo's blind allegiance to Roman has often put him at odds with Jey, who has a more nuanced relationship with the tribal chief. In recent months, we've seen Solo prioritize Roman's commands over Jey's well-being, even stepping in to back Roman during family disagreements. This division within the bloodline isn't just about loyalty to the tribal chief, but also about loyalty to each other as brothers. Jey has shown signs of frustration with Solo's unwavering support for Roman, as he himself struggles with his own allegiance to the family. This tension could come to a head at Survivor Series, War Games. With the high-stakes environment of War Games, Jey might find himself in a position where he has to choose between following Roman's orders and protecting his own dignity. If Solo follows Roman's every command without question, even if it endangers Jey, this could be the last straw. Jey's bond with his brother has been tested time and time again, and War Games could provide the perfect storm of emotions that pushes Jey to prioritize his own sense of freedom over his loyalty to the bloodline. Walking out on Roman could be his way of finally freeing himself from a faction that has come to feel like a prison. Throughout the bloodline storyline, Jey Uso has repeatedly been forced to question his loyalty to Roman and the direction of his career. When he first aligned with Roman, it was with the promise of achieving greatness as a family unit. However, Jey has often expressed a desire to be seen as more than just a subordinate, striving to stand out as a respected competitor in his own right. Over the past year, we've seen Jey's independent streak grow, as he's taken on leadership roles within the bloodline, shown initiative, and even challenged Roman's authority on occasion. This year, Jey's character has subtly shifted as he realizes that the family he's worked so hard to protect is actually just a vehicle for Roman's own glory. Roman's self-centered leadership style has made it clear that the bloodline exists primarily to elevate him, with Jey's role reduced to support. For someone as proud and ambitious as Jey, this realization is likely heartbreaking. Fans have witnessed moments where Jey's loyalty visibly falters, his respect for Roman increasingly diminished as he recognizes that his sacrifices are not valued. During recent segments, we've also seen hints that Jey might be ready to step out of Roman's shadow entirely. In one particularly telling promo, Jey mentioned that he would do what needs to be done, a statement that could be interpreted as foreshadowing his departure. His loyalty has been tested to its limit, and the War Games structure where each competitor fights for survival and team strategy is paramount could be where he finally decides that his path diverges from Roman's. Imagine the scenario. The bloodline, battling it out in War Games, finds itself in a critical moment where unity is essential. Roman, counting on Jey to have his back, issues a command that crosses the line. Jey, exhausted by Roman's treatment, stares down the tribal chief and decides he's had enough. He walks out, leaving Roman and Solo Sikoa to fend for themselves. In this moment, Jey would not only be making a powerful statement against Roman's tyranny, but also reclaiming his identity and independence. If Jey does indeed walk out on Roman at Survivor Series, the WWE landscape would be forever changed. Not only would this shift the dynamics within the bloodline, but it would mark a massive turning point for Jey's character. After years of living in Roman's shadow, he would finally be free to carve his own path, potentially emerging as one of WWE's most compelling solo stars. For Roman Reigns, a public betrayal from Jey would be a devastating blow. His entire persona as tribal chief hinges on his family's loyalty and unity. Losing Jey, who has been with him since the start of his reign, would shake Roman's confidence and his authority. Fans would be left wondering how Roman will react. Would he retaliate, seek revenge, or be forced to confront the fact that his leadership style is driving his family away? This twist would also elevate Survivor Series War Games to historic status, as it could become the stage for one of WWE's most anticipated breakups. Jey walking out on Roman would not just be about a single match, it would symbolize a powerful rejection of Roman's toxic control over his family, setting the stage for a new rivalry and creating endless storytelling possibilities.